Are you able to read this? Is it visible to you? Shall I read it for you? The problem. This is a previous year question paper problem. Okay. Maybe some 2010 or 2011 problem. Verify Gauss Divergence Theorem. They are asking you to verify this. So what I can do is, instead of taking verify, I can apply. I will verify. I will prove it. Before proving it, I'll just take using Gauss Divergence Theorem. I'll put it in another way. Right? The question may be something like this. Using Gauss Divergence Theorem for this, find or evaluate, okay, evaluate or find the value of, this is the surface, okay, the cube is nothing but the surface. So this cube I am going to call the surface, the entire surface, okay, yes, f dot n ds, that's all. I have changed the question into this way, right? The question is using Gauss Divergence Theorem for this vector point function over the cube formed by 6 surfaces, x equal to 0, 1, x equal to 1, x equal to 0, y z plane, okay, x equal to 1, that is parallel to y z plane, 1 unit distance from the origin, and this is your x z plane parallel to x z plane, and this is your xy plane and parallel to xy plane. From origin to the plane is 1 unit, the distance is 1 unit. Okay, so we have drawn, right? So to solve this problem, we can use Gauss Divergence Theorem. As per the Gauss Divergence Theorem, to find out double integral over S, right, f dot n ds, you can straight away use the closed shape, the volume of the over the volume, and find out the divergence of your vector point function, okay, into dv. Okay, so first of all, find out the divergence of f. So what is the value of divergence of f? Divergence of f is equal to, that is your del dot f vector is equal to, you can easily find out. So first I component differentiate with respect to x partially, j component differentiate with respect to y partially, k component differentiate with respect to z partially. So the I component with respect to x is 4z, am I right? And I dot I becomes 1, so it will become a scalar, and j component 2y, okay, 4z minus 2y, and with respect to z means plus y. So it's obviously 4z minus y, okay, 4z minus y. This is divergence of f. So whatever the limits of x, y and z, because it's a 3-dimensional integration, so the right hand side RHS of the Gauss Divergence Theorem is, or RHS or left hand side, no problem, control V, divergence of f, which is into dv, which is equal to, go for the limits of x, various limits for x, and divergence is 4z minus y, divergence, and you are going to integrate with respect to all the 3 dimensions, dx, dy and dz, that is your volume, all the 3 dimensions, dx into dy into dz. This is a small volume, can be found out by a small length into the small breadth into the small height, okay. So this is your dx into dy into dz. The limits for x already it's x is equal to 0 to 1 and y is equal to 0 to 1 and z is equal to 0 to 1, okay. So these are the surfaces. The surface is something like this, which இப்போ போட்டுமே அதேதான், ஒன்னும் இல்ல, அதோட length a க்கு பதிலா என்னன்னு போட்டுக்கலாம், you put it as what, a க்கு பதிலா என்னன்னு போட்டுக்கிறீங்க, 1 ன்னு போட்டுக்கிறீங்க. So this is your x axis and this is your y axis and this is your z axis, okay, and this is your 0, 0, 1 and this point is 0, 1, 0 and this point is 1, 0, 0. This is your origin obviously, okay. So for this we are going to find out the integration, which is equal to, you know, very simple, the integration is integral over this function first with respect to x. So go for the inner integral first, evaluate and then find out the outer integral and then outer integral. Okay, start from the inner integral. So if you integrate with respect to x, so you will get 4zx minus xy or yx 0 to 1. Apply the limits. So if you apply the limits, upper limit minus lower limit, upper limit is simply 1, therefore there is no change. 4z minus y minus lower limit if you apply for x, this is the limit for x, so both of them become 0. So you will get 4z minus y, that's all. After applying the limits, you will get 4z minus y. Now you have the outer integral. The outer integral is y is equal to 0 to 1. You will have dy and the other outer integral z is equal to 0 to 1, that is dz. Okay, so this is an intermediate step, right? Now integrate with respect to y. If you integrate with respect to y, so you will get 4yz minus y square by 2. Now you apply the limits 0 to 1. So if you apply the limit 0 to 1, shall I evaluate here itself? So this is equal to, or I'll write it here, put y, 4z minus 1 by 2, that's all. Because 4z minus 1 by 2 and if you apply the lower limit 0. Suppose உங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப சின்னதா இருக்கு கரெக்ட்டா தெளிவா தெரியல அப்படினா இந்த இன்டகிரேஷன் நீங்களே பண்ணலாம். You no need to copy from the board. போர்ட்ல இருந்து நீங்க இத பார்த்து காப்பி பண்ண வேண்டிய அவசியம் கிடைக்காது because it's a very simple function and a simple integration. The limits are also very simple, straightforward. Okay, and 4z minus half வந்திருக்கு. Integrate this with respect to z. That's all. Okay, shall I use this space because I have a limited space, so I'll continue from here to here, right? So you have the final integral z is equal to 0 to 1. Okay, z is equal to 0 to 1. 4z minus half. இதை நீங்க போர்ட்ல பார்த்து காப்பி பண்ண வேண்டாம். நீங்க என்ன பண்ணலாம், directly you can work out on your own in your notebook and then you can find out whether my integration is right or not. Okay, integrate with respect to z. So if it integration with respect to z, 4z square by 2 minus z by 2, then the limits going to be 0 to 1. So obviously 4 by 2 is 2, so 2 minus 1 by 2, right or not? 2 minus 1 by 2 for upper limit. Lower limit obviously 0. Both the places z irukadunala z oda limits podumbo 0. So the answer is 1 by 3, that's all. 4 minus 1, I'm sorry, 3 by 2, right? It's 3 by 2, right? 3 by 2. The answer is 3 by 2. Clear or not? So the answer for the given problem, sir, what is this? How to understand this? This is nothing but your flux or your divergence. Okay, outflow minus inflow of any fluid through the cube over the surface. இது ஒரு surface. இந்த தளத்துல இந்த cube வழியா அதுக்குள்ள இருக்கக்கூடிய inflow, outflow minus inflow is nothing but this much, so many units. Okay, so many cubic units. Is it clear? So many cubic units you can have a flow inside it. That is called the flux. Outflow minus inflow, the flux from this cuboid box on the surface, this surface effect. Right, now how to check whether this is correct? How to verify this? You can easily verify. Just take the left hand side, but the problem here is in the left hand side you have 6 sides. Okay, so you have to integrate 6 times, find out the 6 surface integrals and then add all the 6 surface integrals. It should be equal to this 3 by 2. So you can note it down. If you want, you just copy. This is a previous year question paper problem. Okay, I have taken the previous year question paper problem. Very simple problem. Once if you have copied, please click the hand button. I am going to continue with how to prove this. To the left hand side, I am going to verify the Gauss Divergence Theorem. This is only the application. Using Gauss Divergence Theorem means this is enough. 8 marks problem ah irukum. Exam point of view solnom appadina if this is the problem, if this is a question using Gauss Divergence Theorem, then this is a 8 mark problem, this is enough. You no need to do left hand side of this. But if it is verify Gauss Divergence Theorem, usually that is a 16 marks problem. In that case, you have to find out the left hand side value of the theorem as well as the right hand side value and then verify both are same or not. So I will tell you how to find out the left hand side value also. ஒரு கிளாஸ் தான் கொடுத்திருக்கீங்க, இன்னொரு கிளாஸ் காப்பி பண்ணிட்டீங்க இல்ல நோட் பண்ணியாச்சு இல்ல நீங்களே ஒர்க் அவுட் பண்ணிடலாம். காப்பி பண்றதுக்கு தான் டைம் எடுக்கும். So if you work out on your own, it will be very simple. Divergence புரியணும். If you are having any doubts, you can raise now. Doubts இருந்தாலும் நீங்க raise பண்ணலாம். காப்பி பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா கொஞ்சம் எனக்கு எஸ் சொன்னீங்கன்னா then 2 கிளாஸ் ரூம் எஸ் சொல்லிருக்கீங்க. ஓகே, 3 கிளாஸ் சொல்லிருக்கீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். One more class. Okay, thank you. If all the students have copied, any doubts? இது வரைக்கும் ஏதாவது ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்கா டவுட்ஸ் இருந்தா கேட்கலாம். இன்டகிரேஷன்லயோ இல்ல கான்செப்ட்லயோ இது எப்படி ஒர்க் அவுட் ஆகுது, இதோட மீனிங் என்ன, ஏதாவது கேட்கறதுனா கேட்கலாம். இப்போ நான் ஐ அம் கோயிங் டு கண்டினியூ வித் how to find out the left hand side of this. Okay, left hand side வந்து surface integral. Since it's a volume integral, the limits யூஸ் பண்ணி முடிச்சிட்டோம். நம்ம surface integral என்ன ஆகும்னு பார்க்கலாம். Now I am going to change the question. In the question, instead of using, அப்போ நம்ம right hand side கண்டுபிடிச்சாச்சு. Now this is the answer for right hand side, right? So we have evaluated the right hand side of our Gauss Divergence Theorem. This is over. The answer is 3/2. Note பண்ணி வச்சிருக்கீங்க. Now left hand side இப்போ evaluate பண்ணணும். இது என்ன பண்ணது பார்க்கலாம். How to do it? So I am going to just change verify the same problem. I am going to change verify Gauss Divergence Theorem for this. அப்போ உங்களுக்கு இங்க இந்த பார்ட் வராது, எப்படி கொடுக்க மாட்டாங்க. Verify means you have to find out. Okay, you have to find out left hand side as well as right hand. So now right hand side is over. How to find out the values of right hand side? Okay, I will erase this part. How many surfaces are there? How many surfaces are there? 6. அந்த சர்ஃபேசஸ்க்குலாம் பேர் கொடுத்துட்டீங்களா? சோ இங்க போர்டுல இருக்க சர்ஃபேசஸ்க்கு பேர் கொடுத்துக்கலாமா? ஏற்கனவே கொடுத்ததையும் எடுத்துக்கலாம், இல்ல நீங்க ஃப்ரெஷ்ஷா போடுறதுனால போட்டுக்கலாம். A, B, C. யூசுவலா these ABCs வந்து இந்த ஆக்சிஸ்ல எடுத்துக்கிறோம், ரைட்? X axis, Y axis and Z axis. அதுக்கப்புறம் you can have your own name. So C, right? D, E, F, right? C, D, E, F, O, A, B, F, G போட்டுக்கலாமா? G. This one is G. Right? So this is your bottom. So shall I take one by one? 5 surfaces முதல்ல பார்த்துட்டோம். யூனிட் நார்மல் வெக்டர் தெரியும், எல்லாம் தெரியும். So இப்போ நம்ம கொஞ்சம் டைரக்டாவே ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் பண்ணலாம். With respect to S, F dot N ds. This is your left hand side. Left hand side of the Gauss Divergence Theorem. It should be equal to, go for surface number 1. So the surface 1 maybe names கொடுக்குறீங்களா? Shall I write the name? First bottom எடுத்துக்கலாமா? Bottom of the surface O A G B plus double integral over, this is one surface O A G B. Next surface you go for the top one. Top எடுத்துக்கலாம். Top is C D E F. Okay, C D E F plus double integral over, ரெண்டு சைடு ஆச்சு. Bottom, top. Now left and right எடுத்துக்கலாம். Left hand side வந்து left side of the box is 0, that is O A D C, right? Left hand side O A D C, this one, this part. Okay, right hand side in the part. In this part என்ன name கொடுத்துக்கலாம்? Plus G B F E, G B F E, right? Some orientation, G B F E, this one, this part. Plus what about other two sides, back and front? So the back one is O B F C, right? O B F C, the back one, back side. So O B F C plus what about the front side? The front one is A G E D. This one is A G E D. A G E D. So I have written all the surfaces. Now take one by one. Now ஒன்னு போட்டா நீங்க மீதி எல்லாம் போட்டுருவீங்க ஷூரா. So the one OAGB. That surface is the bottom. The equation of the surface is z is equal to 0 in the surface. Okay. So just for visualization, I am shading it. Okay. If we take this, z is equal to 0. Unit normal vector minus k vector, because it's opposite direction of k vector. And ds in the space xy plane. That means z value is z change ahadu. The value of x and y changes. It's a square. Square da. Appo idodia limits என்ன sir? 0 to 1, 0 to 1. So dx dy, and the limits for x is also 0 to 1. Y limits also 0 to 1. Since z is equal to 0, z is equal to 0 and the equation of the plane. Appo z equal to 0 neenga potukalam. What about your f dot n? Integral over this. Idana surface 1 nu vechikalama or OA GB ne vechikren. GB f dot n ds. If you want, first integral venum appadina limits kudutukalama. X is equal to 0 to 1, y is equal to 0 to 1. Okay. F dot n. F is 4 4xzi minus y square j plus yzk. This is your f vector dot n cap. N cap is in the surface curve, n is equal to minus k. So minus k vector into dx dy. Dx dy. Okay, that's all. This is our required surface integral for the surface OAGB, the bottom of the cube. Right, very simple. But here z is equal to 0 you can substitute, because z is equal to 0 is nothing but your equation of the plane. Appo idhula enga z irukko, z oda value 0 neenga potukalam. Okay, so you can put z is equal to 0. If you substitute z equal to 0 and find out the dot product, modala dot product eduthurovuma. If you take the dot product, right, k dot I or I dot k is 0, because I and k are perpendicular, dot product becomes 0. J dot k is 0. So you will get only k dot k. Appo I dot k 0, therefore idu varadu, in the component varadu 0. J dot k 0, therefore y square varadu. Only you will get k dot k becomes 1, but there is a negative sign because of opposite direction, outward normal. So minus yz. So the answer is minus yz. Edukana answer sir? Idu rendu dot product. F dot n is minus yz with respect to this. In this you substitute z is equal to 0. Z is equal to 0 என்றதை substitute பண்ணுங்க. Since z is equal to 0 அப்படிங்கறத உங்களுடைய surface கொடுத்திருக்க surface. அப்ப இதுல substitute பண்ணீங்கன்னா இதுவே 0 தான். This will become 0. This will become 0. Okay. If this is 0, the entire integral 0, the answer is 0. With respect to the surface x, z is equal to 0, the surface integral value is 0. Any doubts? புரியுதா? இன்னொரு small விஷயம். Once இது புரிஞ்சுனா remaining 5 surfaces the same way. முதல்ல என்ன பண்ணிக்கிறோம்? என்ன surface ன்னு பார்க்கிறோம். Corresponding ஆன equation of the surface, unit normal vector, outward drawn unit normal vector, வெளிப்புறமா இருக்கக்கூடிய செங்குத்து அலகு vector, the corresponding area, xy plane na dx dy, yz plane na dy dz, and so on, and the limits for the region. Since x and y are varying, z is a constant, therefore the limits. Limits given in the problem, because 0 to 1, cube, it's a cube. Sometimes cuboid kudukranga ungalku, appo இந்த 1 by இது 2 இருக்கலாம். The length not necessarily be same. So 0 to 1, 0 to something. Or ABC இருக்குன்னா x is equal to 0 to a and y is equal to 0 to b and z is equal to 0 to c னா அதுக்கு ஏத்த மாதிரி வரும். So அதை பார்த்துக்கோங்க. Then f dot n is nothing but f கொடுத்திருக்காங்க, n இப்ப கண்டுபிடிச்சிருக்கீங்க, outer dot product எடுங்க. This is a divergence, sorry, dot product. So if you find out the dot product, you will get the corresponding value and then substitute this value, the equation of the plane z is equal to 0. If you substitute z is equal to 0, you will get the entire integral 0 here. So no need to integrate, the answer is 0. Integration of 0 is 0, right? Now, shall we pass on to the next surface? The other surface is double integral over CDEF. For CDEF, okay, the integration F dot N ds second surface ku enna irukum. முதல்ல இதுக்கான values la kandupidichiruvom. CDEF for this surface, equation is z is equal to 1. In the top, CDEF inga mela irukilla. So the equation of this is z is equal to 1 passing through 1. Z is equal to 1 and n cap is equal to k. Okay, n cap is equal to k. Idu konjam thaniya eludren. Okay, n cap is equal to k, and then ds, because it's parallel to xy plane, dx dy, and again the limits for x is 0 to 1 and y is also 0 to 1. Since it's a cube, it's very simple. Cylinder or sphere irukumbodhu you have to use your cylindrical polar coordinates or spherical polar coordinates. Okay, so f dot n. So again find out the dot product. Idu use panikuma nan neradiya idana f. This is dot n. N la oru change. Inge n vandu minus k cap, opposite direction. Here n is plus k. Plus k. So if you find out the dot product, you will get plus yz. Correct? In the problem. So the limits for x is equal to 0 to 1, y is equal to 0 to 1. F dot n is nothing but what? Plus yz. Shall I write? The plus yz purida. F dot n is plus k now, therefore plus yz. Dx dy. Now substitute z is equal to 0. Sorry, z equal to 1. The equation of this plane is z equal to 1. Substitute 1. If you put z is equal to 1, this 1 item. So y is equal to 0 to 1, x is equal to 0 to 1, y into 1, dx dy. Since z is equal to 1. Okay. So the male theory now integrate this. First with respect to x, so you will get xy 0 to 1. Then with respect to y, y order limit 0 to 1. So upper limit x equal to 1, y as it is. So y minus 0, y. So the answer is y. Integrate 0 to 1 with respect to y, dy. It's y square by 2. 0 to 1, it's half. Half minus 0, correct? So உங்களுக்கு என்ன கிடைச்சிருக்கு? Half கிடைச்சிருக்கு. The second surface area is off. Surface integral is off. The first one is 0. First one 0, second one off. சேர்த்துட்டே வரீங்களா? Right? So இதெல்லாம் add பண்ணிட்டே வாங்க. First 0, second off. மேல erase பண்ணிடலாமா? Shall I erase a question? நீங்க அப்படியே simultaneously copy பண்ணிக்கலாம். If you are having any difficulty, you can just send a message. Two surfaces over. Remaining 4 more surfaces. So shall I take OADC? So OADC. Na mele edren. Okay, idoda continuation. Right? Apra idu erase panikalam. OADC, where is OADC? Left hand side. OADC, this one. The corresponding equation is y equal to 0. So y equal to 0. Corresponding unit vector is n cap is equal to minus j vector. Inward illa, outward. Outward na opposite to j. Velila varano. Indha pakka varano. This is your unit normal vector. Okay. And then ds is equal to dx dz. Right? The area. X is at plane. And then the limits for x is 0 to 1. And the limits for z is equal to 0 to 1. That's all. Then you integrate. Double integral over ADC f dot n ds is equal to limits 0 to 1 and z is equal to 0 to 1. Okay, z is equal to 0 to 1. F dot n, n is j, minus j. In the n oda value minus j. So minus j oda dot product edutha enna agum? F irukku, idu inga irukku. This is my f. So idhula minus j oda dot product. So I dot j 0. K dot j 0. So only j dot j 1. that means minus, since we have, அப்ப இது எழுதிருவோமா 4xz I minus y square j plus yzk dot minus j into dx dz. That's all. Okay. Shall I erase the first one? The values la konjam note பண்ணிட்டே வரலாமா ஒரு surface ku. First surface ku 0 வந்தது. Okay, ஏதாவது ஒரு cornerல shall I have the values? First surface ku வந்து 0 இருந்தது. Okay, second surface ku ஒரு half வந்திருக்கு. Third surface ku என்ன வருதுன்னு பாப்போம். ஆட் பண்ணிட்டே வருது. I will have this. So இந்த part erase பண்ணிட்டேன். Now 0 to 1, 0 to 1. இது x oda limits, z oda limits. எப்பவுமே நீங்க limits எழுதும்போது, if it is a multiple integral, either double integral or triple integral, always mention the limits for x or y or z. So you mention the corresponding variable. Okay. So இது என்ன பாருங்க, minus into minus plus becomes y square dx dz. But இங்க நமக்கு என்ன, அதோட equation of the plane is y is equal to 0. Right, equation of the plane, and the தளத்தோட சமன்பாடு equal to 0. So if you substitute y is equal to 0, this is 0 since y is equal to 0. இந்த y is equal to 0 எங்க இருந்து வருது அப்படினா, this is the equation of the plane. Okay, அதை நம்ம இங்க substitute பண்றோம். Therefore 0. So for third surface க்கு 0 வந்திருக்கு. First surface 0, second surface half, third surface 0. Fourth surface என்ன பார்த்தோம், opposite side, right? G B E F இது ஒண்ணு. So அதை integrate பண்ணுவோம். So if you go for that, அதுக்கு முதல்ல இதே மாதிரி நார்மல் சொல்லிடுவீங்களா டக் டக்னா, G B F E. What is the equation of the plane? Y is equal to 1. What is the corresponding unit normal vector? Plus j. Unit normal vector plus j. Y equal to 1, normal vector plus j. And then ds is nothing but dx dz, because y is constant, fixed. X varies from 0 to 1. Z varies from 0 to 1. Okay, so double integral over G B F E, you will get f dot n ds is equal to direct dot product kodutuma. So minus into minus plus ponadilla, but now it's plus j, no, plus j, n cap is plus j. Appo idu dot product eduthinga minus y square varuma. This is your f dot n. Double integration 0 to 1, 0 to 1, the limit, and you are going to integrate with respect to x and z. Okay, which is equal to, before integrating you can substitute y value. What is the value of y? 1. So if you substitute 1 here, this is equal to 0 to 1, 0 to 1. Here you will get minus 1. So I can take minus outside. So inga minus 1 varo. Okay, this 1, y is equal to 1 because y is the equation of the plane, dx dz. So integrate பண்ணி answer சொல்லிடுவீங்களா என்னவா இருக்கும் அப்படினு? Answer is minus 1. correct? எப்படி சார், எப்படி இதுக்கு minus 1? இந்த minus 1 வெளியே எடுத்துருங்க. Integration of x, dx is x. If you apply upper and lower limits, upper limit is 1, lower limit is 0. So 1 minus 0. அப்போ answer inner integral value is 1. Outer integral value again 1. So 1 into 1, 1. There is a minus 1 outside. So you will get minus 1. புரியுதான் பாரு, very simple. இல்லை தண்டனை போட்டினா வந்துடும். அதுக்கு அடுத்தது லாஸ்ட் இல்லை, இன்னும் 2 சர்ஃபேஸ். அப்போ இப்போ என்ன கிடைச்சிருக்கு, minus 1 கிடைச்சிருக்கு. There are 2 more surfaces. என்னன்னு பார்க்கலாம். erase பண்ணிட்டேன், right? இன்னும் 2 சர்ஃபேஸ், front back surface வந்து OBFC எடுத்துக்கலாம். So OBFC இந்த மாதிரி தான் போடணும். surface integral something lengthy, கொஞ்சம் time consuming தான், ஆனா surface integral வேற வழியில் அப்படி தான் போடணும். So what is the equation of OBFC? It's nothing but yz plane. So x is equal to 0 and the corresponding n vector நம்ம ஏற்கனவே பார்த்தோம், opposite to I direction, therefore minus I. Okay, and ds component going to be dy dz because it's a yz plane. எங்க இருக்குன்னு தெரியுதா, OBFC in the back side. Okay, and the limits for y is obviously 0 to 1 and z is also 0 to 1. ரெண்டுத்துக்கும் அதே values ஒன்னும் change ஆக போறது since it's a cube. Okay, now double integral over OB FC f dot n direct போட்டுடலாமா இந்த first term f dot n என்ன, what is f? n is minus I, n is equal to minus I, then f is this. அப்போ dot product எடுக்கும்போது only 4z. அப்போ shall I write 4xz நேரா எழுதிட்டுமா, புரியுமா? This is your f dot n. f is 4xz, I dot I 1. So remaining la 0. Sir, இது ரெண்டு எங்க சார் போச்சு? j dot I 0, k dot I 0. So only 4z. Since இந்த minus வரதுனால minus வருது. இது dx dz. dx ஏ வராது, dy dz. Okay. But x ஓட வேல்யூ என்னப்பா, அதை சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட் பண்ணிக்கணும்ல. So if you substitute x is equal to 0, இதை எடுத்துட்டு வந்து இங்க போட்டுக்கலாமா? x equal to 0, then limits வேணா போட்டுக்காது, ஒன்னும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை. Since this is 0, the answer is 0. So இந்த இன்டகிரேஷன்ல x ஓட வேல்யூ 0 இருக்கிறதுனால 0. So அடுத்த சர்ஃபேஸ் ஓட வேல்யூ 0. Already first 0, next half, next 0 from minus 1, now 0. You know, one more last surface, the front one, AGED. So AGED, right? AGED. For this, the equation is x is equal to 1. Correct? Front leg. This is the equation of the plane. What is the corresponding n plus I along I direction? X axis. What is your d is a s ds. ds is nothing but dy dz. Limits remain same, 0 to 1, and z is equal to 0 to 1. Is it clear? Therefore, if you want to integrate over AGED, okay, AGED, f dot n ds is nothing but double integral. Do you want to find out y is equal to 0 to 1 and z is equal to 0 to 1? Okay. And f dot n இப்பதான் பாத்தீங்க, but there is a positive sign. So 4xz only positive with respect to dy dz. X is equal to 1 substitute பண்ணிக்கலாம். Substitute x is equal to 1 here. Okay. If you substitute, you will get double integral over 0 to 1, 0 to 1, x, y and z limits, 4z dy dz. So இதை இப்படினா integrate பண்ணிக்கலாம். So first with respect to 4 எடுத்துடலாம் காமனா. If you take 4 outside, integrate with respect to y, you will get y 0 to 1, and integrate with respect to z, you will get z square by 2 0 to 1. So இது separating into two integrals. So this is 1 and this is 1 by 2. So 4 into 1 by 2 is equal to 1 by 2. So last என்ன கிடைச்சிருப்பா, plus 1 by 2 கிடைச்சிருக்கு. So எல்லாத்தையுமே நோட் பண்ணிட்டு வந்தீங்களா? All the surface values are கடைசியில் எழுதிருக்கேன் மேடம், bottom. Okay, readable இருக்கா? வேற எங்கயாவது எழுதுவோமா? The values are 0, off, 0, minus 1, 0 and off. Simplify பண்ணீங்கன்னா என்ன வருது? ஏதாவது மிஸ்டேக்ஸ் பண்ணிருக்கோமா பாருங்க. It should be 3 by 2. Okay. I think the last one there is a mistake. It should be 2 la. This off kadayadilla. Right? 4 into off is 2. Adha sir nanu sollanu irundhen. Right. Okay. 4 into off is 2. So this is equal to 2. Then if you add all these things, off minus 1 minus off and then 3 by 2. So the answer is sum of all these integrals. Shall I write it here? That is, the left hand side of the Gauss Divergence Theorem is equal to 3 by 2. That's it. Any doubts, any difficulties?